fountain again. And then someone said, but we could. So we got ready. And that's me on the far right-hand side. Brian Kane, Josh Miller, Jeremy McElroy, Mark Peterson, and yours truly. We got ready, and we tried to get as scary as we possibly could get so that when we went up to Jason McBride this time, he would know what was coming. And we jumped into the car, and we drove over to where his apartment was, and when we got there, we realized he was nowhere to be found. We couldn't find him. It was his birthday. He must have been at a party or something. We couldn't find him, and he hadn't invited us. I love that. But we couldn't find him. And so it's like, what are we going to do now? We're just standing around looking for someone to throw in the fountain. And so we went and got Bart. And Bart was a friend of ours that was asleep. He went to bed early, and this was like about 9:30 at night, and he was probably in bed for 2 hours by that point. So we woke him up. And a good friend of ours, we love Bart, threw him in the back of a van, drove down, threw him into the fountain. But then, on the way, we found out where Jason McBride was. And that's Jason McBride. We grabbed him, threw him into the fountain as well. And for old time's sake, that's me giving Jason a high five. Because it was like tradition. We have kept it going. But there comes that time where we ask the question of, were we going to keep that? See, the tradition just sort of develops over time, and you don't even know it's a commitment until later on when you realize you've been doing this for a while. There are other commitments, though. There's another kind of commitment where you make the commitment seriously before you do anything about it, like the commitment to get married. This is the bell tower at Wheaton College, and the tradition is that when you get engaged or are ready to be married, you go up the bell tower and ring the bell. And so this is Jennifer and me. We are in the Wheaton Tower there, getting ready to ring the bell because this is about 6 days before we were to get married. And there's that question, are we going to be able to keep this commitment? Are we going to be able to maintain it? I was reminded of all this yesterday, Valentine's Day, because my daughter came into my office and she said, Daddy, do you have any pictures of when you and Mommy first met? And I was like, yeah, I think I do. And I started digging through some old pictures and I found all these things and I was like, this is awesome. I just laughed in front of my computer for like 20 minutes as I was looking at some of these things. But I remember at that time, ringing that bell, there was that question. We haven't done anything about this commitment yet, but we're getting ready to make a lifelong commitment. Can we make it? The encouragement we had was that my mom and dad were there with us. And they rang the bell too. It was nearly, they graduated from the same college in '69. So it was almost 30 years. Almost 30 years later, they ring the bell. And so I know they could make it. Maybe we could make it. But here's the question. Really, it's a problem with all commitments. Commitments are something that you make, and then they become the past. Last Sunday we had a commitment Sunday here, and we signed little books, and we made promises to Jesus that we were going to live for Him for the rest of our lives, and we affirmed our commitment to God. And yet there's probably this question in some of your hearts or in my heart even, are we going to be able to maintain this commitment to keep it going? Because quite frankly, that's already in the past. That was last Sunday. Now we're moving on. And the thing about commitments is that commitments made are always commitments past. They're in the past, and we have to work intentionally, and we have to work hard at bringing them constantly into the present. We have to work very difficult to bring our commitments into the present. We have to work very hard at that. So we're going to go on a journey over the next 8 weeks after today. A journey of strengthened commitment. But here's the twist. You're going to see in this journey, you're going to see over these next few weeks, that this journey is not about you getting better at your commitment-keeping ability. It's not you getting stronger at your ability to keep promises. The journey we're going on is a journey to see that God has made promises to you and to me. And so strengthened commitment is a deeper awareness of the commitment God has made to us. The guarantees, the promises He has given to us. I think it's going to be an amazing journey. I'm glad you're here for the beginning of it. But I want to give you one final illustration to sort of set the tone for what we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks. If you could imagine two people getting married, John and Sandy, let's just call them. John is a celebrity. He's a movie star. He's been doing movies for, I don't know, maybe 15 years. He started when he was a little kid, and he's one of the rare few who's made it through even into adulthood. He's wealthy. He's got boats and cars and homes. He's got fame. He's got all these assets, and for whatever reason, he never got married. He's still a single dude, and he, one day, in the middle of 7-Eleven, he finds Sandy. And she's beautiful to him. But she's from a very poor family. She's got nothing going for her. She's completely down on her luck. She's never been able to pay any bill on time. She's always struggled. From the time she was a little kid, her parents struggled, and it has always been that way for her. And they fall in love, and they get ready to get married. And all of John's friends come up to him, and they say those magic words, prenuptial agreement. They say, John, you got to protect yourself. You got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure that all of your assets remain yours. And so he presents it to Sandy, and she says, all right, let's do this thing. We're in love. I don't really care about the stuff. Let's just, get married. This is why I bring that up. Because with God, it's completely different from the way we work as human beings. We like to protect our stuff, and we're worried about making commitments in which we lose stuff. Okay? We're worried about making a commitment that someone else could somehow wound us by stealing something from us, a piece of our heart, some of our wealth, whatever. We're wary of making commitments because we know there's a risk that someone else might take something from us. With God, it should be completely different because God never wants a prenuptial agreement. And who's bringing more to the table? Think about this relationship here. You and me, okay, what are we bringing to the relationship with God table? Well, we're bringing, we got some talents. They came from God. We got some finances, but He kind of provided them too. We've got, we smell. We've got idiosyncrasies. We've got wounds. We've got injuries. We've got all kinds of things we're bringing to the table. But what's God bringing to the table? He's the creator.